Page paper story this morning. It's in the Punch newspaper, editorial in the Punch. Warning on deepening poverty.
Okay, to mention very quickly that the emphasis today, we want to take our minds off politics for a while. When I say for a while, at least for today, and talk about the general welfare of our people, okay? There's nothing new in politics, really. It's still the same old thing. So most of the stories you see today would concern everyday living. And that's why we are leading with this one. There is a warning from the Punch on deepening poverty. And indeed, the Punch says that worried by this current situation of things, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria recently warned that the economic reforms initiated by the Bola Tinubu administration have triggered skyrocketing inflation and pushed more Nigerians into poverty. The Punch goes on to say, quoting the World Bank, which projected that 129 million Nigerians live. What's our population, sir?
Around 200.
So 129 million Nigerians live below the poverty line. And it says that a 2024 global report on food crisis listed Nigeria in second place globally in the acute food insecurity index. See what we were talking about our current state of affairs. Listen to what the Punch says. Many Nigerians are frustrated, confused, and sad. Frustrated, confused, and sad. In August 2024, disturbing hunger protests rocked different parts of the country. Some citizens have developed some form of mental illness, while some who cannot bear it have committed suicide. And then they talk about, of course, the usual defense by the powers that be. The Punch says that consequently the Naira has grossly depreciated. Now, this is the worrying part. Listen carefully. Rather than lead by example, the political leaders engage in luxury. Last year, the presidency added another expensive aircraft worth $150 million to the presidential air fleet. Not budgeted for, we don't know how that was done. The new residence for the vice president got $21 billion, which last time I heard he has not moved into. Then the Punch says, to make it worse, the Punch says, members of the National Assembly went home after their inauguration with SUVs worth $57.6 billion. That's what they spent on that alone. The NAS leadership reportedly moved about in a convoy, that's Senate President and Reps of luxury vehicles that cost the country over $7 billion. About $90 billion was spent to subsidize 2024 Hajj. This is a shame, says the Punch. And then they say that the government must retrace its steps. Agriculture is a priority for many advanced countries because they do not joke about food security. All said and done, this is something all of you know. This is something all of you feel. Recently, I saw some news item that was flying around about some $5,000 being Salah welfare or this or that. The rate at which those who lead us indulge in luxuries at our expense are politicians, are religious leaders, are traditional rulers. Nigerians need to open their eyes very, very well and know who to face for the hunger pangs that they are suffering. In recent times, it has become completely ridiculous. You are afraid to pick a call. You are afraid to read the WhatsApp message. You are afraid. The one thing you don't want to do in this current country, in this country now, is to fall ill. This talks about mental illness. It's evident in a lot of the stories that we read. We say, okay, we chastise people for doing this, a 60-year-old man rapes this and that. All these things, believe you me, come from the origin of a mental imbalance. Including those who have the money itself, some of them don't enter craze because some of the things that our elites do, the way they carry themselves at parties, the kind of food they eat, there is a mental imbalance roving the country such that I think it's the normal now have become in the insane. We all need to be careful.
All right. Let's go to the metro what's this? Ariwa.
Yes, that's
Okay. All right. Ariwa Punch.
yes. I saw this story in the Arewa Punch, and I want you to listen carefully. This is the plight of some of the soldiers who have put their lives on the their lives on the line to make you and I feel safe. The story talks about what happens to some soldiers who face injuries and so on. The Punch reports on page 12 that many of the injured soldiers were predominantly from Maiduguri, amongst other states. Some of the soldiers who spoke with the Punch under condition of anonymity for fear of being victimized or sanctioned for going against military rule, when he visited the hospital, lamented, that is the soldier, that they have to sponsor and foot most of their medical bills with their salary, which is not enough to take care of their families. I challenge the military authorities to please respond to this story. Reference is page 12, Punch, Arewa Punch section. Arewa Punch recalls that an angry soldier in a viral video had accused the Nigerian military authorities of abandoning injured soldiers in hospitals across the country. And they referred to this 14-second video about this soldier who was angry and says they were abandoned. A 26-year-old private army officer who was shot in his side during an ambush raid by the notorious Boko Haram in an Operation 2022 and was rushed to the army hospital, lamented that he had spent over 400,000 buying drugs and other medical accessories to dress the injury he sustained on his right thigh. And so these stories give one or two other examples of what is happening. I think this is very, very unfortunate. The least we can do if a man puts his life on the line is to make sure that they are well treated when it comes to injury. Now, you remember there was a publication one time about what the generals and so on would be getting, even in terms of medical. This story, if it is true, or should I put the safe word, allegedly, but it's in the Punch. This story, if it is true, is considered very, very unfortunate. He was asked what he meant by serious connections to be flown abroad for proper medical services. He said, can you be flown abroad? He said, no. Are you not a Nigerian? Don't you know that you need a serious connection within the army top echelon or any high-ranking politician before you be considered among the wounded soldiers that will be flown abroad for proper medical treatment? He insisted that those of them who do not have any connections have been abandoned without any hope of them leaving the hospital soon anytime. Another operation needs to be carried out on my leg for the 5th time again this last year, June, but until now, no specific date yet. The Punch reports the bedridden soldier. In the midst of this, we hear money flying around amongst our politicians. I consider this very, very, very unfortunate if this story is true. So we'd like the military to react to this. A quick story here that amused me. Police confirmed looting of Tinubu's iftar donations in Gombe. You are looting something that's for iftar. That shows you the level of hunger that you have in the land. By the way, Adewale Ayuba, you know Adewale Ayuba, he's 60 today. We wish him well. We wish him happy birthday. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Let's go take this story on page 6. Welfare of street sweepers, government priority, Loma.
Yes, another story concerning welfare. Dr. Muyiwa Gbadegeshin, who is the chief executive of Loma, has said that the welfare of the street sweepers in the state is priority. And he's speaking about, of course, the current controversy. I'd like to thank all those who answered the call to make sure that anytime you go past a sweeper, no matter how small, we know things are hard. You can get gari from home, beans, rice, whatever, you give to them because these people are on 40K, on 40K a month. Gbadegeshin explained that workers are not only accorded welfare benefits, that accrue to government staff besides regular minimum wage adjustment and health care. He had now argued that the sweepers are currently on 40,000 because they work 4 hours daily. I want him to tell me, the average civil servant, how many hours do they put into actual work? Including our politicians, those in the House of Assembly, how many hours do they work? We are pleading with the government, convert these people. Why is it so difficult to convert them to regular workers? And I don't buy this argument. Members of the House of Assembly, how many hours do they work in reality? And we hope the Assembly will look, they're on recess, Abi. Well, that's another story. But Mr. Dr. Bagbadigas, I'm sorry, sir, I have to disagree with you. And he says that that he said sweepers currently earn 40,000 for 4 hours of work daily. These people start work sometimes as early as 5 a.m. in the dark. What about the risk involved? Mm-hmm. I don't buy that. And he said if they were full-time staff, at that rate, they'll be making 80,000 a month, which is 10,000 above the national minimum wage. No, sir. Let the Lagos state government put them in the workforce. He also says that the street sweeping program is a flagship initiative of Loma, and the government has consistently prioritized their work. There's no need to make a big deal out of street sweep people. Put them in government employment. Let them have a pension. You don't need all this highfalutin flagship of this and that. Because what is happening is the politicians are given these contracts, and then they employ these people at a pitiable, and most of them are elderly. It says that we recently introduced health checks. That is fine. Very nice. And upon discovering that some sweepers had vision problems, we arranged for free cataract surgeries. A sweeper should be tested before being put on the road to go and sweep at 5 a.m. It's not after you have employed them, you see that they have visible. Somebody is going to be sweeping the road at 5 a.m. should have been cleared by medicals. So, and it says that Loma has also introduced biometrics registration for the sweepers to facilitate their health insurance and other social support. I like all that. What we are saying is that make them workers. Put them in the workforce. He also says that workers are not only accorded welfare benefits that accrue to government staff and access to healthcare, but also benefit from empowerment schemes. We need to get this thing out of our heads, Sheriff. This thing called empowerment. Empowerment is because we have refused to do the needful. When I was growing up in this country, nobody was treated like a poor man. You would do your work, earn your day's pay with pride, pay your child's school fees, live a good life, and end up dying at some point. This idea of empowerment, handouts, and so on and so forth should not be part of our everyday living. It's because of the situation we are. Aren't we going to get out of this? We don't want empowerment. People want to work with pride. You see, because what has happened, Sheriff, is that invariably the average Nigerian has now seen begging as normal and now have a sense of entitlement. Nigeria shouldn't be like that. A sense of entitlement to other things. Oh, Sheriff, I remember when he was going to school one time, I gave him 2 kobo. Now that he's a big man in Nigeria Info, he should be able to say, that is not the way to live. So get this out of your head. Make these people full-time staff. And I don't think that is much to do. I don't think that is too much to do. So, Dr. Bagbadigas, sir, I'm sorry I've disagreed with you on this. Don't do any scheme or whatever scheme. Just employ them. After all, we should ask. Okay, let us ask. How much do you pay these companies that employ them per person? How much?
He didn't disclose it.
He didn't disclose it. That's the first conference. How much do you have? The people that you pay directly, they have to pay these people. How much do you, most of them are politicians. Or at least most of them are well-connected people that you give these contracts. So why not absorb them?
I have a comment here on YouTube. A cat says it's a lie. Those street sweeper staff are often not paid on time every month. I've met a few of them at Ikoyi and Lekki. who complain that they complain about late payment of their salaries.
During Ambody's time, at least I remember I started a campaign. Well, not in this station then. They hadn't been paid for about 3 to 4 months. I had to start and lead a campaign that things were much better then, and people were actually giving them things. But that's not a good way to live. Why must you turn all of us into beggars? So most of them are elderly, Sheriff. Some of them are close to 70. By 5 a.m. they're on the streets in the dark. And now you are telling me when you discovered that some of them had cataract, they should have been cleared health-wise before you put them on the streets. It's a very serious job. In fact, they should be paid hazard allowance. Can you go to the streets at 5 a.m.?
No, I can't. I admit.
You that you cannot go and pray down the road at 5 a.m. You are so frightened. Oh, they're looking down the road at 5
Yes.
I can't walk the street at 5 a.m. No, but the jokes apart, they should even be given, they should be employed and given a hazard allowance. And I don't buy that idea of 4 hours. How many public servants work 4 hours?
I think it's a poor attempt at trying to address the issue that you raised about street sweepers. Mr. Badigashin didn't do a good job.
Yes, I know your constraints. The decision doesn't lie with you. Let the person who the decision lies with talk, and you stay back and just run the place. It's not his call. I can jolly well understand that. It's not his call. It's a political decision. Because you see, if they employ them, you're going to be denying some well-placed individuals a source of income. That's what it is now.
But again, it shows the kind of priority government places on public service.
It also shows the insensitivity of the political class. By now, the chairman of APC in Lagos should be telling the governor that, look, this thing is embarrassing us. Employ these people. Let's make this sacrifice. Even the poorest of the people, you won't let them breathe.
I mean, they're the poorest
What
of
kind
the
of a
poorest.
country is
So what is it?
Even I challenged the chairman of the APC to call the governor this morning and tell them, please employ these people. This thing is becoming embarrassing. When it's time for them to vote now, you find politicians going to eat corn and everything with them early in the morning.
Exactly. Permit me to take this message here. Idris says, no, not Idris. James says, I'm an Uber driver. I pick them every day when coming from the island. I pick as much as I can in my car, like 5 people. I give them 1K, 2K. You need to see the way they pray for me.
Yes.
And he put a crying emoji there.
Yeah. Most of them are elderly. The political class in this country are wicked. A lot of them, the spirit, that spirit is just not there. How could you First of all, I don't even believe you should be using such elderly people anyway for such a hazardous job. But granted, fair enough, you can put them in safe areas. Treat them well.
Let's go to the Healthwise Plus page.
Okay, so now this is Tuesday. We give you Healthwise whatever. So please listen to this. Why pregnant women refuse CS despite doctor's advice. CS is when you can't deliver normally and you have to do CS. So the pregnant women refuse CS. You can read that up. Autism is not caused by spiritual forces, say stakeholders. Autism, medical, OTT, labor, and so on and so on. No, these are natural things that happen. And there are ways by which they can be handled if detected early enough, and the parents of such children quickly come to reality of how to handle it. Now listen carefully. Listen to this one carefully, especially a woman. I'm sorry, I don't mean to, but just listen carefully. Dentists have warned against patronizing beauty parlors for teeth whitening. Dentists warn against patronizing beauty parlors for teeth whitening. And I think also I've seen videos of women, they call it exfoliation.
Exfoliation.
Is that sure?
Yes, most sure.
Yeah, sure. Exfoliation. You don't need all these things. In all honesty, you need to be careful. Also with the various soaps that you mix, the various creams, you need to be very, very careful. Beauty is one thing, health is another. You are playing with your health. You are toying with your health. Have your bath if you have chewing stick, use it. If you don't have, if you must use toothpaste, so be it. But all these fashion things, for what benefit? For what benefit? I don't think women understand what beauty means to a man. It's very short-lived. It's very short-lived. And the day you have a challenge, the man is gone. No matter how beautiful a woman looks, it is short-lived. Ask any man who's going to tell you the truth. It's not worth it. What I think most men will want is they want a woman who they can have a relationship as in friends with, essentially. Because you are not beautiful 24/7. So it's not worth it. Just do your normal routine and stay clean.
24/7, you mean that at night she will wipe up everything?
And
then you can
But I have to be very careful. I don't want people to think I'm a specialist in women or something like that, because recently I've gotten into trouble with comments about women that I don't want. But in all honesty, it's not worth it, health-wise. Trust me on that. It's not worth it. So you advise all these fashion houses tell you to come and whiten your teeth and
exfoliate.
I'll leave Sheriff to pronounce it. Then heat wave, another health warning.
Yeah.
Gynecologist asks pregnant women to drink more water. Gynecologist, it says to prevent adverse health outcomes as miscarriage and fainting, maternal experts have advised pregnant women to take adequate water. Emma, mommy, drink more water. Not soft drinks, not beer, not whatever. Drink more water. And then we also say why it's difficult to diagnose TB in children. That is a health instruction for this week. And we thank the Healthwise Plus page of the Punch for these notices. You see, today is devoid of politics. We want to talk about ourselves.
Yes. It's gone well thus far.
Yes.
Let's talk more about ourselves. On page 26 of Punch, foreign airlines patronize local caterers after minister's threat.
Okay, so Festus Keyamo, the Minister for Aviation, has insisted that foreign airlines must patronize local caterers. I think that's a bit emotional, but look, it's okay. But I think you should encourage them, not force them. What is most important is that the food served on the flights pass your due diligence. Okay? But I need to sound a note of caution to the minister. You have done what you consider a noble thing. Fair enough, we could have a debate on that. But see what he said, or what he's quoted said. I will not approve the summer schedule for foreign airlines until they show me an agreement that they have partners with our local caterers. You can stop flying into Nigeria if you can't patronize Nigerian local caterers. And our airlines such as Air Peace will take over the roads. Come on, Mr. Minister. You don't back at people. Here is your leader. The president is going from country to country looking for foreign investors. You don't talk to business people in this manner. And then say that can Air Peace take over? Do they have the capacity to take over every route? I hope this quotation is wrong, but it's put here in quotation. We should learn how to. Festus Keyamo, I love him, he's my good bro. And he's doing a good job. If you get to the airports now, he's doing a good job. But he needs to take control of how to address people. There are nuances to this. All they need to do, in fact, it's not the minister that should say that. All they need to do is to pass a memo to the airlines and to say that when you are going to apply for SCOMA schedule, please attach. It doesn't need the minister to talk about it. It doesn't need for him to do gra about it. And for God's sake, you don't talk to foreign airlines in this manner. More so when you don't even have the capacity. I'm surprised. I hope he will say that he has been misquoted, and I'll be glad to take that reaction. But this, what I hear, show me an agreement. You can stop flying into Nigeria. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I think that was too much emotion.
It's not his job. It's not his call. All you do is you pass it down to the regulators. A simple 2-paragraph memo would take care of all this. Very polite. Oh, in a bid to develop our local capacity, the government would like to please and endeavor to use our local, which some of them do already. Some of them do already. At least I'm close to one of the airlines that runs the Lagos UK route, and I know all the efforts they put. If you go to their schedules, you see where we're going. You see jollof rice, and I took a flight from that same airline from London to New York. Ewa going was there.
From London to New York?
Yes.
Oh.
Specifically Virgin.
Oh.
I challenge anybody, if you go there, you see Ewa going.
Nice.
I've had 1 or 2 meetings with them on this. So it's not something that you come and back orders at people and so on and so forth, and then something that you cannot achieve. That if you like, don't come. Yeah, please. It doesn't work that way, Festus.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't work that way. I'm hoping, and I'll be glad to have him here to say that is not what he said.
Now, let's branch out a little bit to our usual way, but this is just going to be a one-off today. Democracy not working in Nigeria. Obasanjo, Obi, Tambuwal, Kuka.
And we must satisfy you political pundits. We must put something for you to talk about. But anyway, this happened that it was this gentleman's birthday, the 60th birthday of the Deputy House, Emeka Ihedioha. He had this lecture for his birthday, and Obasanjo, Obi, Tambuwal. And they said what we all know. There's nothing new. Democracy is not working. So one of them said democracy has failed in Nigeria because it's not African. I agree. But I also agree that we have put the wrong set of people forward. If you bring the British Constitution here with the current practitioners, it won't work. It won't work because, and the most important thing about democracy in Nigeria is that we don't have the culture of holding people responsible for doing the wrong thing. President commits an impeachable offense, you leave him. Governor complains, you leave him. You vote for him the next time. Because our people don't have this culture of being involved. Yet they bear the punishment. Now, come 2027, Nigerians will have the attitude, I'm not voting no jare, they know what they do and so on and so forth, then you suffer for another 4 years.
True.
So
that is just a fact.
So there's no big deal. I don't think there's anything wrong with democracy. Look at, we say 2/3. Then you do it by, how can you calculate 2/3 of a voice vote?
How?
Remember that during that voice vote, some members of the Senate would have walked away anyway in anger. Because the numbers are specific. It doesn't say 2/3 of those present. It says 2/3 of the total. Yet they are going to get away with it.
They have.
They have. Nobody is going to challenge them. Because by now, if I had my way, I'd be recalling myself. I would like to know, my senator will have to tell me, how did you vote? Then I'll lead a recall. That you must do the right thing. We don't want to insist. We don't want to insist. And when I heard a senator say on television, a senator, a senior citizen, say that it's going to cost about 1 billion for somebody. If I want to serve my people now, it's going to cost me about 1 billion.
Yeah. That's our show, Lagos. Kofi is next after the news. Stay here, please.
If you're thirsty for information,
good conversation,
either sport,
entertainment,
or news, thirst no more.
We'll fill you up on Nigeria Info.
99.3, let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.